works. Hopefully everything is working now. I just dropped my whole computer and everything re-disconnected after it updated. So let me know if you're here or if I'm talking to myself. Anybody out there? All right, I think it's working. Hi, Chris. All right, so today we're gonna make the little Cupid. I started one earlier last week and I'm excited to do one today. So I've got everything cut out and I'm not gonna be sewing very fast today. I don't have anywhere to be and it's been a while since I've done a video. So we're just gonna have fun and sew up this cute little bag. So if you didn't see, this is the Cupid crossbody. And then there's the little Cupid that's a smaller version of it that came out. We did a collab with Saya Swag, SewFlow, Tulip Bee, and I for a little Cupid box. But the pattern is available to everyone now. So if you don't have it, you can grab that. But it's so cute. Just look at it. All right, so for the exterior, I'm gonna do a solid black on the body. For the front heart flap, let's see. I'm gonna do this animal print from Tulip Bee with a solid black overlay on it. And I think it's gonna look so cute. So my biggest thing when I was doing my test is that if you're using a stretchy base vinyl for this piece, the way it's sewn is you want to make sure that you don't cut past this corner. So sometimes we kind of overrun our corners or you snip just a little bit past it. You just want to make sure that you don't overcut that corner. Because if you do, then when we sew it back, it might tear. So if you, I don't know if you can see, let's see if we can get it to focus. Yeah, so you can see how there's like this little itty bit that sticks up right here. Just trim that off. So I have some scissors. So you can fold it like this and then just snip up so that that tear isn't there anymore. That was the only thing that I noticed that could be that later on you'd be like, oh man. So I'm just gonna fold that back, and this one doesn't have it. See, it's nice and flush here. There's not like a little hangnail. So just trim that off. So I did interface the back of this one with a woven just because it was a little stretchy. And that's also going to strengthen this little flappy bit right here. But that was the only thing that so far that I found that I was like, okay, I need to make sure I tell them this. So that's going to be the exterior. Then I did a solid black gusset in the back piece too. So this will be like the flap lining side. Perfect. And for the interior, I went with black and white stripes. So cute. This is the Tulip Bee water resistant canvas. And a little washed out. Let me see if I can. Oh my goodness, look how it blends right in. Very stripey today. Maybe a little bit better. Yeah, we'll go that one. Perfect. Yes, this is the smaller version. This is the little Cupid. The little Cupid. And then for my overlay, I'm going to go with this pop of color, the Made with Love red. This is one of our overlays that we have on our website, and it's a 6-inch, so it should fit right inside there just fine. Look at that. It's gonna be so cute. Cindy, can you hear me? Maybe you have to go out and come back in. So yeah, that will be our lining. With that slip pocket, I did vertical stripes, so hopefully it'll just change it up the direction a little bit. And then we can pick a tag. I'm not going to put an exterior tag on it just because I like that front so much. So I'm going to put a woven tag on the inside. And then let's see what other tag I want to go with. Oh, we have the little Cupid guy. I mean, we do have some of these left on our website. These are left over from the box. The little Cupid. There's the Heartbreaker. Inspected by Cupid. And in case of emergency, hug this bag. I think I'm going to go the Heartbreaker because it'll pull out that made with love. And I'll do that on the slip pocket on the other side. So I'm going to put that there. And if you don't have one of these are don't forget your tag magnets, and I keep it right here on my machine so I can see it and hold my tags for this bag. So because this is a thicker vinyl, I didn't need to put any Decaville light on it at all, but I am going to add foam after we stitch it together just to give it a little bit more structure, but I don't want it to be crunchy. Okay, so for hardware, so this is foam, and on the other one I kind of wanted that inside of the heart. Let me see if I can grab it. This little heart bit right here, I wanted it to be more poofy. So we're gonna try to add the foam on the back and then an inlay of another heart on the inside, so that essentially, like when it's behind it, it'll just poof out that center heart a little bit more. So I'm thinking that will work. I'm thinking. For hardware, I have these little like door knocker style D-rings. They're pretty tiny to go on the side gusset. And then we're going to do the matte black chain from Saya Swag. I love these chains. They're so easy. So that is that for hardware. And I think we're ready. Ready. I'm going to use black thread, because that was another thing that I can show you on this one, kind of how it's assembled. Is what I was thinking for thread options is I love the contrasting thread here, but you almost want contrasting thread on your exterior and on your heart, because there's like a little different, it's just a way of applying it, and there can be like a little back stitch right here. So you almost want to go this color, like match your accent color, and then be contrasting on your main body flap. So all of this would be contrasting. So if you're going to do a lighter color, I think I would go lighter thread. On this one, I think I can get away with the black because you're not going to see it on here. Oh no, Cindy. Annette, maybe you can tell her just to close out and then come back in. Maybe that will help. So I think I'm going to work on my lining first just to get back in the groove. I'm pretty comfortable with my linings. It's been so long. Let's just stick this on the side here. interior stuff. Okay, we have our linings. Gusset. Our zipper pocket. Alright, let's do this. All that there. And then my instruction book, just so I can make sure I get the seam allowance right. All right, I need to thread my machine and bring you in a little bit. Bring it in. And down. Perfect. Alright, so if we need a different angle as we go, just let me know. Oh my goodness, I didn't plan out this stripe on stripe action. Okay, thread my machine. Does anybody have any big plans for this evening? We're not huge Valentine's Day people. We normally like to go to Wawa, get dinner, stay away from all the people. Okay. Got that. So we'll start with our slip pocket. Have our slip pocket accent here. And I want to grab a lighter. Which is just right here. Okay. And so this, our our pocket accent is raw edged. So if it has any little fuzzies sticking out, you can just take your lighter and from the back side, just gently run it along the edge to singe all those little extra flyaways. That way you have a nice clean edge. So we did this side, and it's kind of hard to see, but you can really tell the difference on the back side, how smooth this side is versus this side. So again, from the bottom side, just run that along the bottom edge, get any of that loose fuzzies off. Okay, so we have that. And then, so our pocket pieces are very similar in size, so just make sure you mark a little mark on the back to let you know what each one is. Let me see, it's still so bright and washed out. Let me see. Go back one more. There we go. So this one is going to be my slip pocket here. And like I said, I did vertical stripes. So they match. Let me just get the seam allowance for this one. Okay. So I'm going to fold it in half, right sides together. couple clips. Okay, good. I think it's just the lighting above my machine and it's bright outside. It's okay. So we're just going to stitch down the side of this, close that up. Thread was stuck in a magnet on the top of my machine. Okay. So we started with the pocket and not top stitching the front. Okay, let me just check everything now. That was weird. Rethread this, so it got angry. It's always best just to start rethreading over when something like that happens. Just because you never know where it pulled out and got off track. Oh, I just realized I only had like the top chat on, not live chat. So if you sent a message and I didn't see it, just say something again. Okay. Let's try this again. I'm just going to go over that same line. There we go. I think this is going to be stitching right on the color change. It's pretty cool. All right, I need scissors. Okay, so I like to, we have our slip pocket cut here, and I like to just trim off the corners almost to a point at the very end before I turn it out. So that way you can stick your finger inside, push right on the corner, and then it'll poke that corner out perfect. So this side, point your finger all the way into the corner with your thumb, and then just push it out. Normally just gives you a little bit cleaner corner edge. Beautiful. All right, so give that a nice good press, and then I'm going to just baste this top closed. I'm going to do that basting as close to the edge as possible. We are going to put the the accent on top of it, but you don't want to be sticking out underneath that. Okay, got those. We'll take our accent piece. Grab your ruler and you can mark a center line down the middle. If you've made a few of these before and you have trouble with stitching off the back side, you can add about 1/8 of an inch to this piece when you cut it out and put that along the back side. And then you'll have a little bit of extra room for it not to fall off. And I'll show you what I mean here in just a second. So I'm going to add some double-sided tape. Hope Cindy made her way back in with the volume. Okay. So the smaller side is going to go to the front of our slit pocket. So put it upside down here, right along that line. Then we're going to take this back piece, the longer side, and fold it right over the back. That's going to give you just a little bit of extra room on the back side to stitch. So now if we want to put a label in here, just going to grab our little label or tag, and it has a seam allowance built into it, so we're just going to pull this up, slide it up to the edge, and then push it back down. So just make sure everything's straight. Oh, that's cute. Little heartbreaker. Just going to add a clip to hold that in place. Yeah, don't forget your tag. Yep. I got it. So it's just slide out a little bit. So just want to adjust it and make sure it's straight before we stitch it on. It's wanting to just get a little wave to it. I don't know why this one side. There we go. Let's add a little clip. And then now we can top stitch this on. And you can do 1 row of stitching or 2. It's your personal preference. I tend to like 2. Hello, Tony. How are you? So if you're doing 1 stitch, that's good. If we're going to do another right along the top. So then now we can just cut off any excess that's hanging over past our slit pocket. Just right up the side. If you have a thread zapper or a lighter, just make sure we burn these threads here so they don't come unraveled later. I think that's good. Go with a lighter. Okay, so now we have our slip pocket with our little tag. Look how cute. Okay. So now we'll look for the placement of the slip pocket. Mark our centers on here. It always helps when assembling too if you have your centers. See that. That's okay. So we're going to take our pocket. I just like to fold it in half to find the center on this. And then that way you can lay it right on your center line. Right about there. Is that right? Seems like it's a little low. Oh, I bet it's because it's the little one. That is the placement for the large one. So we're just going to add it here. That should be good. Just move it up a little. My center here. Yeah, that's what it is. It's the measurement for the big one. So we'll just move it up a little. And just line it up right on that black line. And then we're just going to stitch this down all the way around. And I just like to backstitch really well at the corners of these pockets. Just because if you're sticking your phone in all the time, and pulling on it, you just want to make sure it stays pretty good. Just come right back up this side. And if you wanted to add like a little pin pocket, like a little smaller, I think with the little guy, you don't have too much room, but I think if you wanted to do a pin pocket, you could probably, or a little chapstick pocket, you could probably do that, but I'm just going to leave mine open. Look at that. So cute. So cute. Okay, so we're going to move on to the other side now and work on our zipper pocket. But I did forget to grab zipper tape. So you need to grab some zipper pull and a zipper tape. That's okay. Do some black and grab a pull. See what we have. Oh, I wish I had a little heart pull. Hello, Kasaya. I wish I had a heart pull in matte black. But just go with one of these guys, I think. be cute. Okay, so get some zipper tape. My zipper pocket side so I can measure that. Perfect. Set that aside. So for my zipper, I just want to make sure I burn the ends to prevent it from fraying. Always. Oh, I know. If we lived closer, I totally would. I'd probably have them in every other color. But what if I did... No. I was going to say I could do nickel hardware, and then I probably have one, but that's okay. We'll just do a plain black one. There's been a couple times I've been tempted just to drive to you. Annette. Okay. So we need to do our pocket. Just gonna go ahead and sew this on. Where are you that it's morning? Are you Australia? I forget. You know, it's pretty awesome when you can make an entire bag with all your friends' stuff. Kasaya's got us covered with hardware. Brittany's got the pattern. Net's got the vinyl. I've got all the tags and overlays, like, and templates. Pretty good team, guys. So if you aren't a part of all of our groups, make sure you find us on Facebook and subscribe to their channels, or at least Kasaya's and I's channel too, so that you can be informed if we do another cool collaboration. Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought you were Australia. It's like your time and temperature are probably way different than ours. I'm just gonna fold this down really good. We want this to lay nice and flat under our overlay. And we can add our zipper pull. You know, we went to dinner with friends last night, and I was showing them one of my bags that made, and they were like, oh, so like the hardware and all that stuff, like how much of it do you actually put together? I was like, no, like all of it. Like, we have friends that have this, we have friends that have that. What is this on here? What is that? Looks like pizza sauce or something. Is that where my overlay is going to go? It'll be okay. We're going to make it go there. How about that? We're going to put it there. We're going to cover that little mark. I don't know what that is. Strange. So like I said, this is a 6-inch overlay. Add, thank you, some double-sided tape to the back. And I know the center of my overlay is 3 inches, so I'm just going to put a little chalk mark right at 3 inches so I can line that up with my center here. So be right about that little mark on the fabric. I know. I almost went with black and I was like, no, you know, just go bold. Just go bold on the inside. That's there. We can take off our chalk. Okay, pull off the back. Just kind of let it lay nice. Pretty. And then now I need to stitch all the way around the overlay. So I'm going to pull my thread tails long so that I can tie them in the back. And I normally start like 1 or 2 stitches in from the edge. I don't always start at the corner because it's easier to fix your stitch length to make sure you can start and stop at the right area right here versus trying to get exactly in that same corner. So I'm just going to start here. Turn this a little bit. And I do have a full video on how to sew these overlays too, so if you want like a slower, in-depth walkthrough, we do have a whole video. But I promise, once you figure it out, they're all you'll ever do. They're so much easier and they look better than the pockets where you have the weird corners. Like where you have to fold everything back. So while I'm here, before we get back around to the other side, just need to pull these threads to the back. That way you can continue. Right back to the hole we started in. Beautiful. Just always double check you're pulling the right thread before you pull it all the way through. Just double check you're grabbing the right one. You should be able to see it pull from the top. That way you don't pull out a whole stitch from the front side. Just tie these together. Beautiful. And then now we need to cut out the window behind our overlay. Yeah, I know, I have to, and I just always check to make sure that it's the right one before I do it, because it happens to the best of us. So I'm just going to come from the back, pull this up, making sure not to get our overlay. And you're essentially just going to cut right along that tape line. Make sure you get to the corner. We don't catch that piece of the overlay. And it doesn't have to be pretty. Nobody's going to see it. Just want that window open. These are wanting to come untied, so I'm just going to burn them together a little bit. Just that way they don't fray out later. There's nothing worse. It's a nice little ball. So now we have our overlay window. We can add our zipper and our pocket. A couple little flyaway hairs there. We do need to finish the lining through the pocket. So I think, if I remember, I'm just gonna cut this open there so I don't forget. Some double-sided tape on our zipper. Pull off our tape, and we're going to line this up on the back side of our overlay, getting it nice and center. You know what? Idea. I have the XOXO from our kit, from the box, so I can change the zipper. Yeah, Tony, I was going to do a drop-in for my last one too, but I ended up just doing it regular. Yes, do the XOXO. That'll be so cute. I'm glad I remembered that before I finished sewing this. My goodness, did not give myself any room to work with this. Come on. I don't want to unstick it to the overlay if I don't have to. You can do it. This is so awkward. There we go. Yes! That'll be perfect. It stands out on that red so good. And I may end up doing this one as a drop-in too, Tony. But I can always sew that bottom up before I do it. Make sure everything is pretty. A little uneven here in the center, so let's fix that. There. Better. Cool. So we'll fold up the bottom and we're going to stitch across just that bottom piece. Ready. I hope Gusset gets some more of these zipper pulls because I love them. Long. Then we can tie these in the back. Stuck under my foot. I was like, why can't I grab this? happy Valentine's Day. Just hanging out making the little Cupid. Figured it'd be a perfect day to jump on, sew it up. Fold that back down, and now we can just finish stitching around the overlay. Trying to stay awake. Oh no. It's the weirdest week I think ever. Our week started out strange. Days were all confused from the beginning. Alright, right back in the hole we started. And I wonder if I put this, might have put this pocket on sideways, like as far as the width and length, but that's okay. Looked like it fit. It's covering the hole, so it's enough. What do you think? Should we do a drop-in or should we do a regular? Let's do a drop-in. We can just sew up this pocket. We don't have to worry too much about the gusset either. What do you say? All right, we'll do drop in. Yeah, this pocket I think was supposed to go, when I measured it, I must have done the width, the height backwards. It'll work out just a little slim on the sides for stitching. Be like an 1/8 inch up the sides, but it's all right. So just be mindful of which way your pocket goes. It'll work, just a little bit snug. I guess I need to know what the seam allowance is in the top, and then I can draw a line on for the drop-in. Oh, craft show next month. What are you, where's your craft show? I wish you a lot of luck, and show us your booth display too. Look at that! Okay, so we have our Made with Love pocket, And then our Heartbreaker slip pocket. Glad we went with that pull, that XL. This way. So good. Alright, so if we do. Week of market. That's awesome. Okay, so I'm going to draw on the top edge. The line that we're going to fold down to for the drop in. Grab a marking pen that'll show up. Okay. I think I may have lined up these stripes, but I don't think it'll matter because of the gusset. So I was hoping, but I don't think it'll really matter. Ooh, I could put an inspected by Cupid tag in the bottom, like where an inspection label would go. That'd be kind of cute. Let's see what the seam allowance is for the gusset lining. So we're going to start over here and we'll clip. Sorry, that's kind of loud. Clip our gusset on. Have our centers marked. Find the center of this. So I can line those up. Okay. Bring the center. We found out this morning, well, not really completely found out, but it was confirmed this morning that another one of our oak trees have to be cut down from the storm. It just has been slowly falling over. And it's getting worse and worse. So before this next storm season, the next couple weeks, we're going to have to cut down a huge oak. So that's our two biggest oaks in our backyard that we lost this storm season. It's so sad and expensive. Very expensive. So let's cut some little snips around the corner. So we don't have, I mean, those two trees, we have a pretty big, decent backyard, and those two oaks took up a majority of our yard. So it's definitely really sad. Let's try this side. Give me a hard time. Which is because it's a little bit bigger of a seam allowance. So I'm going to try and cut the snips a little deeper and see if that helps. Need a little bit deeper snips. There we go. Oh, clip that to my table. Alright, so I think she suggests, because it's a big so she recommends if you struggle with the corners that you can do 2 rows of stitching just in the corners. But I think we can handle this. Hi Jan, how are you? Yes, doing Tulip B. I did. It's actually Tulip B exterior and lining. My hemostats. My little fingers can't hold this lining. Go nice and slow around these corners. All right, we did it. Made it around. All right, so now we need to clip on the other side. So what do you think? We'll put a Inspected by Cupid in the bottom, sticking out the bottom. Be cute. Yeah, I think it'll be cute. Let's add it. Just gonna stitch it on right down here. Oh my. So we'll put our little Inspected by Cupid tag in the bottom. Let's add on our zipper pocket side. Bottom. This really is a decently quick bag. Since you have a bigger seam allowance, you can clip a little bit deeper than we're used to in the gusset, and that really helped it fit a little bit more. I know sometimes we're a little conservative just to try and make sure that it doesn't go past our stitching, but this one has a bigger seam allowance. Anybody is in the Lakeland, Florida area, or if you want a Florida vacation next month, we will be vending at the Original Quilting and Sewing Expo in Lakeland, Florida. It's the weekend, like March 12th, 13th, and 14th, I think. I will be there. I'm teaching the Fundamental Tote class, which is sold out. That's awesome. And we'll be vending. Tulip B will be there. She's actually right next to me, so that's so exciting. And Salty Sews will be there. A few other bag making people will be there. So if you want to come to Florida for a few days and hang out, we'd love to see you. Or if you live local, take a little vacation. I know, I'm so excited in it. They moved Salty Sews too, and she's catty corner from us. They just messaged me this morning and told me that. So we're gonna have the cool kids corner. Should be nice weather, James, before it gets too hot. And you could come see Barb. It's not far from her at all. When is it? It is the March 13th. It's the Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I think it is. Oh my goodness, Annette, that's a month away. Yeah, 13th, 14th, and 15th of March. I know they're teaching several classes too, so I think they wanted us to be able to keep an eye on their booth. It's gonna be fun. I'm excited. It's our first time vending at a quilting expo. I know. I feel like I know so many of you. I might have should have left that tag out. It's okay. I'll go back and fix it. That seam allowance on that tag may cut it off a little bit. Oh, March 15th is your market. We'll go look at your market though. That's exciting too. There's one other event towards the end of the year that hasn't had details released yet. So as soon as it has details released, I believe we'll be attending that one as well. I think this will be our only two for the year. What are you going to focus on making for your event? What are some of your top sellers? I'll cut it off a tiny bit, but I think you can still get the point across when you see it in there. So it's not too bad. Oh, my goodness, it's so hard to show on the camera. Yeah, you can see it. There we go. Ah! There. Perfect. Right on the bottom. Alright, so need to cut the seam allowance down on the lining, and then we're done with this. We can put this aside and work on our flap. I'm just leaving that top little inch or so that I can have it to fold down for the drop-in. That one will be in Florida as well. The later at the end of the year one. Okay, there she is. Cute little thing. It's little. It's hard to get in the camera. The camera's like, I don't want to see that. See their little heartbreaker. There we go. Okay. All right, let me clean up this mess I've made already, and we can work on the exterior. I don't know what will sell, but bags, wallet, quilted placements, baby blankets, and more. That's a good variety though. Just make sure to have like a couple grab and go things, like smaller items like key fobs or something that really are scraps and don't cost you a lot of money or a lot of time. That way people can grab those. We have all the little price points for it. Okay. So we'll start with let's see, where do we want to start? Guess I can follow the instructions. Need to mark my magnet placements first. Let's line that up. I got these like liquid chalk markers and they work so good. But it makes you think they're not working. And then once it dries, it's there. Works so good. I'm gonna find my center. It's a great idea, left over from past markets. Yeah, good. Just so I know, variety price points help. Okay, so see, look how it showed up. It's crazy. It looks like it's not going to show up, and then just poof, it's there. Okay. So I know we have to put them on, but not attach it to the flat part yet. But this one we can. So let's do that. I have to grab a craft knife. X-Acto knife. I don't know if I have one. Yeah, I got one. Since I put, I'm going to put foam on after I assemble these pieces. I'm going to just add a little piece of interfacing to the back. This one's a pretty thick vinyl though, so I think it'll be okay. Got lucky last year, got into one where someone canceled. Ugh, that's crazy, yeah. Our markets around here haven't been too good lately. It's been kind of sad. Okay, I don't need to put anything over that because I'm going to put the foam. Pretty, okay. So do that. Don't put this one on yet. Fine. Okay. So now we'll take our piece We're going to line this little guy up here. This part, just take your time really reading the instructions. Once you figure it out, it's easy. But she has a method to her madness. So, take that. Now we need our big heart piece. We're going to add that here. Use your guide. So we have acrylic templates for this pattern, but then I really felt like, I know acrylic templates can get expensive, and a lot of the pieces are very simple to cut. So we did a little mini pack that just has these 3 heart pieces. So because this is raw edge, and then you have your accent piece that goes on top, that's raw edge, I thought it was really important to have these pieces to be able to use a craft knife or to draw it perfect, because no matter how hard you try with a piece of paper, it's so hard. So, because I know when I was trying to line it up with the paper piece before we did just this template, it was so hard to get it accurate. So the 3-piece set just comes with the raw edge pieces and your alignment tool. So it's a pretty nice way to be able to get templates without having to get the whole thing. All right, so we're going to clip those together. Gonna add this heart. To here. Thank you, Kim. I appreciate it. Just clipping this little bit right there. So lining this up. Clip this edge right in here. Okay. So you're not clipping everything together. You just want, you can see that back piece in here. It's clipped. Oh, I know, you don't think it will make that much of a difference, but it really does. Okay, so now she says to add some double-sided tape. Oh my goodness, use it. Right behind these little guys. Little Humpty Humps. Okay. Okay, so now we want to remove these. Take this piece off. Okay. And now we're just going to add a little stitch to hold these together. Right here. Just add a tiny little stitch to hold that in place. Make sure you got them both. Yep. Same for this side. All right, so we have this piece and we just stitched together right at the bottom. So now we can take this, line it up on the bottom, and this is where the paper piece, oh, also, because, so this one comes with the 3-piece kit. If you're using it, when you cut out this piece, you can also use it for the bottom to make sure the bottom of your flap, like your inside flap, since it's the bottom the same size, then you can just put the paper pattern underneath and do the top part. But that way you get the nice, perfect round bottom too. So you can use this piece twice. Okay, so there's that. So now we have this. And look, it lines up perfect on the edge. So I'm just gonna clip this in place right to my vinyl, right? We have our raw edge piece of vinyl, and I just want to make sure that I got all of the little fuzzies off. So let's clean this up a little bit. I think I didn't do that earlier. We were talking about it with the accent piece, but same for the inside of this heart. Just want to come up from the bottom so that you don't catch the front. And that way it'll give you a nice smooth edge. Let's see. Oh, there's one piece. I think I can. Famous last words. I think I can. I think I can. Just because that interfacing on the back is white. All right, good enough. I'm not gonna risk it. Okay, so we have that clipped on. Need to add some double-sided tape to the back of this. This one is a little fuzzy. So I got this lint roller that's reusable. So you can just rinse it and then let it dry and reuse it again. And I just love to use it for the back of all my stuff, especially when I'm interfacing and you have those little bits that get stuck. You want more tape than less tape because you don't want it to shift when you're top stitching it on. You don't need to go crazy, but you definitely want enough to feel confident that it's not going to shift. So now we can peel this off. We're going to use this to line her up. It just lays so nice in there. And that's going to be the key to getting this perfect because it is raw edge and it's such a narrow area to top stitch around this little edge. Having those templates makes it so nice. And not just because I make them, but because I truly feel that. Like that's why we do that, because it is, I mean, you can't do this with a paper piece. Like, it's not going to be as perfect. Okay, so we have that. And then let's do the foam on the back side. And I said earlier, if you weren't here, that I'm going to try and make the inside of that heart poofier. So I used this template and I drew on where you normally would cut out for the accent piece. And then I cut out another piece that's going to fit right inside that. So we'll add some double-sided tape in here to hold this on. I know, me either. Sometimes even using a ruler. It took me a long time to figure out how to cut with a ruler. So much so that once I figured it out, I did a whole video on it. So I was like, this is grossly underestimated on how hard it is to cut a square for a pocket. Did anybody else struggle with cutting pockets like and stuff when they first started? I did. And we have some wiggle room in bag making for error, but it definitely makes it way easier to assemble stuff when it's cut right. Okay, so we got that. We're going to use this again on the back side. Flip it over. Shouldn't matter, but just because we can. Yeah, it was hard. It was a struggle. Once I figured it out, I was like, oh, bag making can be fun. You don't have to stress out cutting patterns. All right, so we have that. Peel off our wonky quilts. Yeah, I get it. Templates are like mindless too. You don't even have to think about it. You know it's right. Okay, so you can just put that on just like so. Okay, now we top stitch, right? Yeah. Don't top stitch that on. Let's flip her over. Ah, look how pretty. Look at that. Yeah, I think it's going to be poofy. Once I stitch that down, I think it'll make it just a little more poofy in there. Poofy, 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 poofy. Let's see. Where do we start? I'm going to start in the point because I feel like I can control that center better. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I think this is my center here. Just want to make sure when we do our top stitch that we can get right in that center where it stops. So that way now I can put my needle right on that line and it'll have that perfect sharp dip. Okay, here we go. We ready? Hello, hello. Let's go. And just go slow, one stitch at a time. I know she just got 16 boxes in. I don't know if it's restock or if it's new stuff, but I can tell you what's coming you're gonna want. This black is a new one, I believe, that she's has on order. And it is for industrials. It's not necessarily domestic friendly, I would say, but you're gonna want it. Okay. Happy Valentine's Day. Let's make sure I pull the right one. Okay. Looks like we got it. Pull everything tight. Bonus is mid-March. Perfect. So I think you'll be good, Tony, when she's gonna get her new stuff. Yeah, see, that's nice and poofy in the middle. You probably even add another layer if you wanted it to be crazy poofy. I wasn't sure just how much it would get, but okay, so there's the inside. Now let's do the outside. The same thing, I'm gonna start right in that point. Nice and slow. Every time I do something like this with this machine, I'm just impressed all over again. I rarely have to hand crank anything. So I stitched this using a 3 going around, and it landed almost perfect in every hole. Like starting and stopping. I tend to like a little bit smaller stitch length when top stitching like appliques like this, because then you just have a little bit more control of the foot. Like there's more areas for it to turn. Yeah, it's wild. Like I used to have to hand crank everything. Okay. Oh, I did forget to put in my own name tag in the lining. I put in that Cupid tag instead. That's alright. I mean, I guess I could put it here. Do you leave this open? I think I want to leave it open. What do you think? I could always cut a hole in the lining and stick it in there. No, I've had this machine. It always still amazes me. Okay, we need this guy here. Yeah, the needle positioner is a game changer. You guys might see a lot more of me this week. I have to prep my kits for that expo. So I figured I could get on live and do it because then I won't be by myself. I did get a new heat press though. I got it yesterday. I haven't had a heat press in over a year. I've been using like one of the little handheld ones and I thought I loved it. But I think this new one may be a game changer. But you have a needle positioner on yours too, right? Where it automatically stops on like the down position? Isn't it? Or no? Okay. So we got that. Everything is all lined up. Yeah. I think that makes a big difference too. Okay, we're going to leave this top open and we're going to stitch around the sides. She said because it is a bigger seam allowance than we're used to, if you're not comfortable, sew one and then just like sew a 1/4 of an inch and then sew another 1/8 inch next to it. But I think we got this. did it. Okay. So we need to now turn it down. Let's use pinking shears. Okay, I get to turn it out, right? Yep. Okay. Just kind of crease everything here. Hi, puppy. What are you doing? Hello. Hi, Susan. We're turning and burning the flap. Not the whole thing, just the flap. What you up to today, Susan? So if you were here in the beginning, when I said I was like, I get real concerned on that little corner and like where not to overcut, it's because when you turn it right here, the way it's designed to transition to raw edge and not is right here in this corner. So if it has that little hangnail, then it's more likely to rip right here. And I'll show you, because on this one, it's just the tiniest little bit, but it can definitely kind of irritate you. So you can see kind of right here, it had this little cut across, and so it kind of started to tear right there. That's why I had you cut it off at the beginning. See, right there. It's just like a little hangnail. We just don't want to overcut that corner, especially if you're selling them. And so that corner, if you're just coming in, it's right here in this corner when we're cutting out this piece. If you overcut that, then that will give you that little hangnail piece right here. Did anybody see that flame almost take off my eyebrow? Just a little bit of that white poking out from that interfacing. Okay, so we got that, all that poked out. It is, and it's so simple to fix, and it just kind of irritate you if you didn't catch it at the beginning. It's such a simple little fix that it's nothing to do with the pattern. It's just us cutting it, especially with paper. It's so easy. Okay, so I'm just poking everything out really good. All right, so then the only question I had, I think, when I did it the last time, Brittany, if you're still in here, when you come around the top, do you come around all the heart first? Or you come up, stop, and then start and stop again? That was the only thing, is I couldn't, I know you top stitch along like where this leopard print is. Okay, we do that after because we do the magnet. So we'll come around here and up, put the magnet in, and then do this. I'm pretty sure we're gonna do that. I'm pretty positive. This one's so thick, you have to make sure you get everything poked out, or there's not going to be enough room for you to top stitch. Thanks, it's Annette's new one. I got it last night and I was like, yes, it's happening right now. It's the wild, what's it called, Annette? Wild, oof, I can never remember. I can never remember. Fierce and Wild, I think. Hey, cat. How are you? Thanks. We're trucking right along. Trying to make sure I get my seams pushed out so I have enough room to top stitch. Fierce and Wild, yeah. I'm normally not one to like clip my like my seam, but I think you need to for this one so you can make sure you have enough room to top stitch. Okay, so let's do it. We're gonna start up here. Just work our way down. right. So we have that. And you can see it is a little poofy. It's harder to tell, but it is more poofy than the sides. It sticks out just a little. Okay, so now we need to put our magnet in. Okay, do our magnets. Our little small ones. Definitely gives you less room for your hand, that's for sure. I know. I could almost do on the little one, I wondered if doing just a tiny bit bigger seam allowance around that edge when stitching them together to give a little bit more room. Oh goodness, I cannot see that. All right, hemostats, where'd you go? You're up. Oh goodness, not even can't even see the hemostats in here. It's like trying to plug your phone in behind the bed. It's dark. There we go. Now I'm going to push the prongs down. Okay, see you in a bit. Can't get the prongs down. Oh my goodness, these prongs are so hard. Need something to push it down. What do I have? If I can use this. Can't get it. My fingers. I don't want to push it through the front side, and I can't. I don't know why it doesn't want it. There it goes. Not fold down. Okay. Put a little piece of something over it. Okay, so now we have our flap and our magnet. So we need our back piece, top, in the front. Let me grab my back piece. No. We got a problem. I don't think I cut the bottom out, or I lost the bottom. And I don't have enough. Hi, how are you? Welcome. So I have such a small piece. Should I do the whole back panel leopard? Because I have enough of this, we could do the back panel. But then this one's the front. I could do half and half. Let's do half and half. What do you think? But then I could do half and half. So I think I can fit half. Yeah, we could do that. We'll do half and half, okay? So I'll need a seam allowance on the back. So I'm gonna add 1/4 inch so that I could sew them together, right? Do you have enough black to do a slip? A slip pocket on the front? Are you thinking? What do you mean? Oh, a slip pocket of the back, on the back you're thinking. Yeah, I think I'll do half and half. I think, no, I don't know if there'd be enough for a slip. Okay. Let's see if we did this. So it'd have to be smaller. I mean, if I did it smaller, I could do that. Yeah, I already sewed the top of the heart. But just barely not enough. And I don't think I lost it because I don't remember cutting it now. But I think half and half. We'll try that. So I'm just going to cut this. Okay. Let cut this and I'll be right back. Can I turn on the heat press? Okay, we're gonna do half and half. But in the meantime, we can put our connectors on the gusset. Actually, I'm gonna do the holes. And then after we assemble it, then I'll put them in just so it doesn't get in the way of my foot. So measuring. Okay. Do first. I don't know how I did that. I'm probably gonna find the piece like somewhere tomorrow. I just don't remember cutting it out though. I don't remember seeing an extra piece. It's okay. I think half and half will be cute. I just have to interface that piece. I'll turn it on, but I don't know. Figure it out. So I'm gonna punch the hole so I already have it. I think it'll be cute. We'll add another piece to match the leopard because there's no more leopard on it anywhere. All right. So we can also need to add the drop-in line to the back, so we could do that while we're here. to the front. This. Okay. And we can go ahead and start attaching this to the front one while we're waiting. All right. Glad we got that figured out. Not a big deal. Just go with the punches. Put some snips in this. Right. Need to double check the seam allowance on this, but I can almost bet what it's going to be. Okay. All right. Let's go. So we're stitching on half of the gusset to the front. And again, this is a little bit bigger seam allowance than we normally see on gussets. So you can always stitch 2 lines, do 1/4 inch, and then, you know, just do the seam allowance in addition to your 1/4 inch. So that way you can just ride the line next to it. All right, let me grab the interface piece real quick. Okay, I think this will be a nice save. I think it's going to be super cute. Just don't forget to mirror, if you do the double back piece, to mirror the other side when you cut it out. One side needs to be mirrored. Alright, so clip these together. And then I added 1/4 inch seam allowance. So we'll stitch that together. Hello, Lisa. How are you? We did the lining and we're working on the exterior now. Happy Valentine's Day. Okay, so I just want to make sure it's the right size first. Yeah. Looks good. I know. It's funny how that works. I think I'm going to top stitch both sides to keep it open. Yeah. Just butterflying open that seam, and then I'm going to top stitch down each side. Keep that open, it's tough. There we go. What you most recently missed, Lisa, was that I forgot to cut out the back bottom panel and I didn't have enough vinyl. So we just split it in half and made a 2-part back panel. So now we have that center. We'll need, oh, who asked me if I top stitched the top of that heart? I definitely did not, Kathleen. I put in my magnet. I need to top stitch this part here. I'm going to pull my threads long and leave those out the back and then tie them. Kathleen, you saved me earlier. Thank you. Got so flustered by that back piece. There we go. Now we have the heart top stitched on the top. I'm just going to pull these. Let's see. So be a little extra here. And I'm going to tie these off through the side. I guess I could do them on the inside if I wanted to, but this will be easier. Just really didn't want to top stitch on the back stitch on the front. So I'm just sticking the needle through that side seam and pulling these threads through. So we have those now, and then we're just going to stick this needle in through the seam and up that top, like in between here where you can grab it. Don't stick your finger. So you can, these threads through the eye. And then instead of grabbing it with my hands, I'm just going to stick my hand in and grab the needle with my hemostats. And just pull those threads through. And that way they're tied off inside your flap and no one will ever see them. So that way we don't have that back stitch right here. Perfectly fine if you want to do that. It just takes a couple extra minutes though to hide them. Oh no, broke my needle. Sorry, got another one. Okay, so stick it through that same hole that it came in, right out through the side. Through the back one. feed that little bit through back to the inside. Not a shark. There we go. Thank you, Brittany. I just know I like that way. If you want to do contrasting stitching, you don't have to back stitch too. Just know I saw it on my other one that I did, and I was like, oh man, I should have just tied off the threads. So I need to grab a new needle. I have one in here. Let's try a new needle. This one's smaller, but hopefully it's sharper. Ah, there we go. That was silly, wasting all that time. Should have just grabbed a new needle when the first one broke. Okay. So now those threads are in there and the flap is done. All right, so we can find the center of this. Baste this shut. We're almost done, guys. We're almost done. So we have the middle of this, we have the middle of this. I'm gonna line these guys up. Baste this one on. And then now we need to take our little back panel, add this, so it's going to normally face like this and flips you down. I want to double check and make sure that this is the right size real quick. For some reason that seemed a little big. don't know why, but my math didn't math, so I did have to take a tiny bit off, and I could tell because that little back piece didn't line up. But now it should. Yeah, there we go. I don't know why. I added a little bit so I could sew it together, but it should have accounted for that. But it's okay. Just figuring out things as we go. We're sewing our back upper panel on. Glue, sticky something on my finger. There we go. Much more better. Now we'll flip this up and we'll top. Look at that. Hello, Evelyn. I think it's really cool on the back. I kind of like it. I kind of like it a lot. Oh my goodness. Look at it. All right, so if we do a drop in, I need to add that to the top of this. Like so. We're almost done, guys. Okay. So we just need to add this to this. Then once I sew this side on, then I'm going to add the foam. It was intentional, guys. I just was testing you to see what you would come up with. Just a test. You passed. It's almost dinner time. What's everybody doing for dinner? Is anybody going out? Oh my goodness, I'm obsessed. It's gonna look so good. Okay, now we need to do little snippies in our gusset. Pizza delivery. Ooh, that kind of sounds good. Do they deliver heart-shaped pizzas for Valentine's Day? They normally like do tons of commercials and I haven't seen anything. Breakfast time. I like breakfast food though, even for dinner. Okay, let's sew this side on. Some do, I think Pizza Hut. Fair. Okay, so I'm just gonna pull that flap out of the way. Normally I see tons of pizza ads. I don't remember getting any like emails or anything. Speaking of emails, has everyone signed up for our email list on our website? It's one of those things, like, every now and then I feel like I need to mention because social media can only be so good that if something ever happens, that's going to be the best way for us to get a hold of you, is our email list. Sounds cliche, but, you know, if our group were to ever get taken down, if anything happens, our website and our emails can still be there. Yes, it is a flatbed, it's a cylinder arm with a flatbed attachment. It's the TechSew 2750 Pro. And I love it. Oh, we got one last night. Just pull your flap out of the way just in case. Oops. Stitch those couple stitches that slipped out of the way. All right, we're almost there. Okay, so I want to add foam. So I'm using the self-adhesive from Fabric Therapy. So I can just peel it off and add it on. And I just thought it was going to be too much with this vinyl's pretty thick to sew on the gusset and everything with the foam attached. So that's the nice part of the self-adhesive, is you can just add it after. And that way if it goes a little too far, because it is kind of stretchy per se, like it stretches a little, then you can just cut it off. Just like that. So now we have the foam in the gusset. You can add the foam to the back panel. This is the front panel actually. And that way you don't have to worry about stitching through it either. And you can just get it right up in that seam. And the same for this side. Just get it right up in that seam, and you don't have to worry about stitching through it. So I want to cut down my seam allowance. Just leaving the top inch or so. All right, now I need to turn it. Look at it. And then I can put in my connectors. Yeah, we'll turn it and put in the connectors. My goodness, you guys. Look at the back with the two-tone. I like it a lot, actually. I think it pulls that front together. Yep, then we just really need to crease these corners together. Yep, just have to really clip this. Oh my goodness. I like the back a lot. All right, let's add these little connectors. I already punched the hole, so it should be easy. I can just poke through the foam now. So these are little, like, I think she calls them door knocker D-rings, because they just look like when you knock on a door. And they screw in through the side. And last month I ordered these leather washers from Heartwood and Hyde. And I'm going to use those on the back side. So they're super cool. So these will go on the side here, up and down. And then do a screw in a metal, like the metal washer that comes with it, and then one of the leather washers from Jade. Guess it'd help if I had my screwdriver. Okay, so put our screw in with our 2 washers. So hard. It does get a little bit stained from my jeans sometimes, but what can you do? I should have like sprayed it with some of the waterproofing stuff. Got that in there. Let's see if I can get this tight enough. So this one has just a little bit of, it needs thickness behind it. Kasaya, I think, did get some new ones that don't have such a proud screw hole. Like, they don't screw in all the way. So that's why the washers help with this one. And then it helps keep it from pulling through too. Just helps it a lot. So it doesn't wiggle and it doesn't turn once it's in there. Oh, awesome. Have a good dinner, Kathleen. So it just helps keep the screw from pulling through your vinyl and keeps the thickness there. Oh my god, those washers work so good. The other one that I did, I forgot I had them actually. And I had to put like 8 folded pieces of Decaville Heavy in there to get that. Okay, so we have our little door knockers on the side. And we're going to now just add our tape to fold over our top. And then we can top stitch and we're done. Not a bad first sew back. A little bit longer than I would have hoped, but that's okay. Thanks for hanging out with me. Hoping to be on more again, hopefully. Just life, man. It's hard sometimes. Either that or you're going to just be getting me, you know, looking a hot mess and my sewing room sometimes in my pajamas. I'm thinking we're just going to have to be okay with that sometimes. Wonder, this is probably not going to stick to the foam as good as I would have hoped, so we'll just have to add some clips. Alright, so let's start over here. It should just fold down right over the foam. Chair squeaking. If Erin's watching this, she's going to be like, I told you your last video you needed to oil your chair. I really need to squeeze these. Hi, puppy. Clip it overnight to keep it, to learn its shape. Let's clip it for now while we do the lining real quick. Let's add some tape around this top edge. Definitely like those washers though. That was really nice. Okay, peel the tape and we're just folding down to the line that I drew earlier, which essentially is double the seam allowance because you're folding, if you want to be able to fold to a line, you need to, if you just drew the seam allowance line, if you fold it to that, then it'll only be half the seam allowance. So if you double it, then when you fold it over, it's the seam allowance amount. So that's pretty much how you change a regular pattern to a drop-in, is take the seam allowance that they're using on the top, double it, and that's where you draw the line on the exterior. Okay. Double-sided tape around the top here. So when we put it inside, we can tape it together. Just a little bit below the top stitch 8. So it's just going to sit just below it so I'm not purposely going through the tape. Won't be the worst thing if it did, but you just don't want to if you can prevent it. We want this back zipper pocket along the back. Stick it inside like so. Ah, it's so cute. So we're going to line up our our side gusset seams first. And that way we can ease in the rest of it a little bit better. Because it's hard, you can't see the center point anymore because we have it folded down. But your side gussets are going to stay the same. Those aren't going anywhere. Those seams need to line up. So just push everything down, kind of give it a good tug out, and then you should just be able to move your clips to grab the lining and include them in. So again, just a nice little tug. So we have our lining on the inside, but I added tape around the inside of this lining here. So I'm just going to grab that tape and then remove the clips where I started. So I'm just going to cut a little piece of the backing off the tape right here. That way, as we go around, so I'm just pulling the tape up, removing a clip, pulling tape, add the clip back. And you don't need as many clips as you go back around because it's going to be taped. I still do like a little bit of clips just in case, but it should hold everything nice and tight. It keeps it from slipping too. I just think that makes a big difference. Oh yay, yep, almost done. Glad you made it to the post office. I'm so happy everybody is loving your vinyl as much as we do. Okay, so we got this all in there. Everything is snug. It's got it all clipped. Zipper pocket. I could have put the zipper pocket up a hair higher, but I wasn't sure. It'd be pushing it pretty close with that size zipper overlay. All right, I'm gonna take off my table. And then we're done. All right, we ready for it? So I like to start going around the front of the bag first. That way, in case it, I don't know, like sometimes coming around the back side of it catches just a little bit different. So I'm going to pull my thread tails long. We're going to start in that side seam because I'm not going to back stitch. I'm going to do just like we did for the flat part where I'm going to pull my threads through. Such a little baby. Just a little baby. Ready? Here we go. It's just nice because when you first start and you have this flat area, you know that's the pretty part. When you have to start flipping the bag around to the back, and then when you come around to the front, sometimes it can get weird. So I always like to start with the front. Okay, pull our flap out of the way. right back in the hole we started. Pull out our tails, snip, and let's thread these through. Let me get my fresh needle. Here's our new needle. Okay, up through the inside. They're a little long. This one has a big eyelet and I still keep missing it. There we go. Let's pull those up through the center. Same thing for the back threads. Tie them off. And then we'll tuck them down into the lining. You just kind of come out anywhere down in the side seam, a couple inches down. No one will ever know where they came from. Just have to go through that double-sided tape. I do normally prefer a longer needle, just so I can put it a little bit deeper than normal, but that way you can pull that knot in, cut your threads, and they disappear behind that lining. Oh my goodness. All right. Hi, puppy. Come to see the final end? Yeah. There she is. My face is all red. Oh, don't get those. Zipper tape out right here. Shut that, and we just need our chain, and that's it. And we're done. Thank you guys for hanging out. I really hope you like the pattern, and if you got the Cupid box, I hope you love the box too. Okay, let's check out the back. I'm not even mad that we messed up that back. Look at her. Look at the back. I like the back a lot, guys. Thanks so much for hanging out. I really had fun. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments. If you're watching the playback, I will go back and add a link to all the things that I used in this video. And if you make one, please tag us, tag Tulip Bee, tag Sci Swag, Tag SewFlow Patterns. Thanks so much for making this. And tag me, of course, too. And I appreciate you guys so, so much. I'll see you next time, hopefully later this week. Bye. Okay, now it's gonna go by because I didn't hit end, so.